Good evening, everyone. You are most welcome in this session within a QRTA series of sessions in this QRTA forum. We'll be waiting just a few minutes so that we have as many people, as many participants as can. So we will start for 30 sharp, please. So you can, in these few minutes, would you please introduce yourself, saying where you are from, so we know what kind of participants we have, where they come from. Qatar, Jordan, Razak from Qatar, Mariam from Jordan, Iyad from Jordan, Maria from Saudi Arabia, Ali from Bahrain. Great. Different places, different backgrounds, different mindsets, ways of thinking, experiences. Okay. Hajar from Jordan, Farouk Jordan, KSA. You are all most welcome. Muhammad, Egyptian from Saudi Arabia. Dr. Christina. Dr. Christina, your speaker today. She's joining. We will start at 4:30 sharp. Okay. Just we have yes. Just in 2 minutes we'll be starting, inshallah. Christina, can you hear me, please? Our great speaker today.
Hello, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
Yes, you are most welcome. So, as you can see, Christina, people from different parts of the world, they are sharing us, they are joining. Fida from Palestine, Zena from Lebanon, Nida from Kuwait. You are all most welcome. We are really glad to have you in this session to learn together. So everything's okay so far. So I guess we can start. Let me start, please, to give you this introduction. So you are almost welcome. Welcome, dear participants and our speaker today, Christina, to the distinguished annual event, the Queen Rania Teacher Academy Forum 2025, held under the theme Education for Tomorrow, Fostering Citizenship and Values in a Changing World. We're delighted to have you with us and extend our sincere gratitude for your valuable participation in this global education gathering that brings together teachers, experts, and policymakers from around the world. The QRTA Forum stands as one of the Academy's most prominent annual initiatives, offering a platform for educators, researchers, and education leaders to exchange experiences, discuss emerging challenges, inspire meaningful change in education. This year's forum focuses on strengthening citizenship and values through education, featuring key themes such as active citizenship, education for sustainable development, digital citizenship, teaching and learning, and educational leadership. Dear participants, before today's session begins, we'd like to remind you that certificates of attendance will be provided, and we invite you to complete the feedback survey shared at the end of the event to help us continue improving our future initiatives. Let me and allow me please to introduce Miss Christina. Miss Christina Bob is an English and a second language teacher and a member of the school board administration in Romania. She teaches primary, secondary, and high school students. She is passionate about connecting language learning with civic engagement through service learning projects. Her work focuses on empowering students to become active, responsible citizens. Christina advocates for innovative, inclusive, and transformative approaches to education. You are most welcome, Christina, and the floor is yours. You can start and step in, please.
Thank you very much. That's so kind of you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today, and I am completely blown away of how many people I can see here. I honestly didn't expect you all to be here, but this makes me very happy. As Firas has told you before, just a few seconds ago, I'm second in English as a second language teacher. I was born and raised in Romania, in the western part of Romania. I do have a keen knowledge on students. I do like being with them, and I would like to start my presentation about the service learning projects that we conduct in our school and across the country, not only in our schools. My presentation, I have entitled it From Learning to Serving, because we always started from learning what we do in the classroom, and then we went on to serving the community. I focused mainly on experiential English through service learning projects, but I have prepared for the people that maybe are not teachers, maybe they activate in a different field, or the people that teach different subjects, not only English, because service learning can be applied in any field. What I would like to explore together with all of you is how service learning projects can deepen, in my case, language acquisition, but foster also emotional intelligence through experiential and real-world learning. I will be focusing on Kolb's experiential learning cycle and how service learning projects build the bridge over the gap between the classroom instruction and the community engagement. Sometimes there is a huge gap between what we teach or what we want children or students to know and what they face in the real world. So that I came to the conclusion that we need to empower students to use not only English, but everything they study in school and in universities in meaningful ways beyond the textbooks and beyond the walls of the school. I will present you examples from our successful service learning projects, from my Romanian experience in the classrooms. We will try to actively collaborate on designing a sustainable curriculum aligned service learning project of your own. Using my examples, you can build your own. I will not focus on any curriculum because I know every country has a different curriculum based on maybe British, French, American models. In Romania, we have a Romanian curriculum. So I will not make reference to that. I will make reference to designing your own service learning project. And I will also use a Mentimeter so that you can reflect in the beginning, then Padlet so you can create and co-create, and leave maybe there some practical ideas to implement in your own context. I will provide you the links in the chat box. A few words about myself, what Firas has already told you, but what he hasn't told you is that I teach for 19 years. This year is my 19th year as a teacher. I do not teach this year high school students, but I have taught over the years. This year have been many changes in our.
So, pardon me, Christina, I forgot this to tell this.
No, it's okay, Firas. Do not worry. Do not worry. This year have been many changes in the curriculum in Romania, and this year, as I have said, I do not teach high school, but I do teach primary. I do go to the kindergartens as often as I can, as often as my schedule allows me, because I love being around children and around little children who sometimes just absorb everything you tell them. They just tend to memorize and have it there within their hearts and minds for a long time. I am passionate about connecting language not only with civic engagement, but also with everything that life surrounds us with every experience. I always tell my colleagues, and it doesn't matter what subject they teach, that we English teachers are a special kind of breed because we teach almost any subject within our language classes. For example, this week I have had a science lesson about microwaves with the 8th grade. So I have to prepare in different fields to teach the students language acquisition through different subjects. But what I've seen through my experience with service learning has started accidentally in 2015, 10 years ago. I saw service learning and an appeal for the teachers around the country in Romania to enroll and to discover what this is all about. And I said, why not? Let's see what it is. They promised student engagement. They promised student being active and present. They promised transforming the schools. But what I have never expected is me being transformed. Not only the school, not only the children, but me as a person, I have become transformed. I see it as a very beneficial thing that I have done this leap in my career. Also, because we have a national curriculum in Romania, we here as teachers have to have different exams to become at the height of our career. And the last exam is the first grade. That's how you call it in Romania, gradul întâi. It's a little bit different and maybe a little bit difficult to pronounce or understand. But it's almost like a PhD diploma with a paper written on a specific subject that is very connected to what you teach. And I have done this in 2018, not knowing very well what I was going into, but I'm not sorry about it because I have gone deeper into studying service learning, into studying how these projects transform children and how they can transform my teaching and my becoming a better person and a better teacher every day. So my work focuses on empowering students to become active and responsible citizens. I also advocate for initiative and innovative and inclusive approaches to education. I want to see education as a transformational tool for everyone. And my opinion is that education never stops. We should learn every day and all day, as much as possible through the end of our lives. That was all about me. Now, my objectives for this session are to, first of all, explain to you a little bit about the service learning principles, about the theory, to showcase you some real classroom examples, to show you what I've done in our project, then enable you to design your own service learning project, to think about, well, maybe this will work for me. And I would like you in the end to reflect on how not only English language, but any subject can be enhanced with social emotional learning and learning in general, not only social emotional learning. I will leave you here in the few minutes that are next Mentimeter code in the chat box and the link, so you can access Mentimeter and enter this code 51830174. And I have there some questions for you, and I promise they're very interesting.
So please try to use this link. So we need to answer a question.
I will put the link now in the chat box.
Yeah, please.
So this link gets you directly to the questions that we have on Mentimeter. Now I can see you are answering. Think about what superpowers you would like to have. And you have three options there: invisibility, read people's minds, or ability to fly.
Good. So dear, please use the Mentimeter link to provide your answers.
I hope you can see the results. They're on the screen. Can you confirm to me, Firas, if you can
Yes,
see?
it's not
Okay,
appearing.
okay.
It's not appearing yet on the screen. You mean on the slide?
Sorry?
On the slide, there is no yet. We cannot see anything yet.
You cannot see anything?
I mean, yes, the results not appearing. Yes, now. Yes, now. Perfect.
Okay, okay, okay.
So 20 8% for
29% would like to have invisibility, 39% to read people's minds.
This is
And
natural because we human beings are very curious.
yes, yes, yes. But also there are people who want to fly. I would like to fly too, honestly.
Really?
Yes, yes, I would like to fly because I love to travel. I love to travel. I've told you in the morning you were trying to reach me, but I was driving. I had a
Yeah.
600 kilometers drive.
Yes, good.
I am participating until Tuesday in the National Service Learning Conference in Romania. And this is the 25th anniversary. And what I would like to say until the people finish voting is that service learning is all over the world. It's not only in Romania.
Yes.
It started in Latin America, actually, in Argentina. So if you go back to the history of service learning, it's quite interesting. And there are service learning clubs for children and for students all over the world. If I'm not mistaken, more than 62 countries all over the world have these service learning clubs that are called Impact with capital letters.
Actually, yes, I like the topic that you are now presenting. It is almost new to most of the participants, if I'm not mistaken.
It is new, but it's not new. I have doing my research, I have learned that many universities use as a compulsory task doing. Yes, I can see a raised hand here. Lulu?
Yes, hello, Miss Christina.
Hello.
It's a pleasure being here in your presentation. I was going to comment that the concept of the concept of experiential learning, would you say it's similar to PBL learning, project-based learning?
Yes, it's based on project-based learning, but it's more. It is with civic engagement, with giving back something to the community.
Okay, all right.
So
Thank
it
you for
is
that.
more than project-based learning.
Okay,
That's why I like it so much. It's different. It's not like PBL.
I see, because it also reminds me of, I'm an IB trained teacher, and I know that the IB curriculum offers a great deal of experiential learning.
Yes.
So I imagine that in your topic, though, you're focusing more on ESL, how to highlight ESL.
I tried to change and not focus only on ESL, and
I
I
see.
do have, but it's in Word, and I can post it on the chat later. Examples of service learning projects for different subjects. And you
Okay.
can apply that in secondary, high school teaching, universities.
Thank you very much, Ms.
So
Christine.
I tried to synthesize the information so that you can access whatever suits you better.
Thank you so much, Ms. Christina.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so going back to our voting, 26% would like to have invisibility, 41% to read people's minds, so this is the winner, and 33% the ability to fly. Okay. We will go to the next slide. What would you do with a superpower like reading people's minds? And I would like you to leave here in Mentimeter a comment. What would you do with reading people's minds?
Yeah, let's see. Why do you like to read people's mind? Come on. Try to help. Prepare for the nightmare. Try to make it
smoother.
Know their feelings.
To see how they think and understand their feelings, to see empathy, to see magic, okay? To understand their needs, to know their needs. Very interesting. We will need those needs later.
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
What would you do with a superpower, right? Like reading people's minds?
Avoid misunderstanding. Someone writing in the chat box also.
Yes, I can see the chat box. Avoid misunderstanding, the ability to fly, that's better. Improve personal life, to guess feelings, to know how to react. If you know how people think, you know how to react. Interesting.
So it is all about empathy, I guess, Christina. Their answers, I mean.
Yes, yes,
They have
the answers are in that direction of empathy. I was also reading the chat box. to build empathy and trust, to make it easier to understand. Yes, but I think if my colleagues, the teachers, they can also say that we teachers sometimes read our students' minds just by looking at their faces.
You can anticipate, yes, what they are thinking of.
Yes, we can anticipate. We can anticipate.
Interesting.
Yes, yes, very interesting. Thank you. We do have a last slide on the Mentimeter. If you are prepared, I see people are still answering. That's why I'm not moving yet.
Okay. For the sake of time, I guess sometimes we need to move, not avoiding their answers, but to have a good time management so
Okay.
that we can finish in the end.
So choose if you would use the power of reading people's minds for good or for bad. You have to choose now if you will use the power of reading people's minds for good reasons, or for bad reasons. Yes, I can see everybody's going to the good side. So as you can see, we have people that have chosen it for bad also.
Really?
Yes, yes. You can
I
see here
like
the
how
bad.
I like how they are clear and frank.
Yes, yes, that's good. It's good that people are very honest.
One says, Afra, I think it will be not good if we know. Sure. Sometimes if we know.
We will also be able to read people's minds, so we will know from the start what they will do, good or bad.
Yes.
Now keep in mind this exercise and keep in mind why you are here. You are all here to do better for the others, for yourself also, which is very good. But most importantly, you are here to do good for the others. I can see a raised hand, Miss Rokaya, if I'm reading well.
Yes, Ruqayya, yes, you are right. Good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't want to
Ruqayya.
misspell.
Yeah, hello. I'm Mrs.
Hello.
Ruqayya from Lebanon, Beirut. Hello, thank you for
Hello.
everything. Actually, maybe I don't know if I understand the question, but yes, it's good, or maybe it's bad. But if we collaborate for good, that power could help solve, prevent harm or emotional pain if we use kindly and protect their reading for weakness, as you said.
Yes.
Okay, so we can learn from them, imagine how deeply they could understand the emotions, maybe by AI also. And we stay calm all the time to listen and ask for him or her. I'd want to make sure they respect privacy
Yes.
for reading. This is very important to let her or him not to read if he can't, if he weak by reading, not to read with in the class maybe privacy. I know I protect the privacy for him or her.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Welcome.
observations. We also have another raised hand, Ali.
Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Ali from Saudi Arabia. Regarding the question, sometimes it could be good for you, but bad for the one that you are reading their mind.
Yes. Can I add that maybe sometimes it would be bad for you too?
Yes, yes, true.
Yes.
But sometimes,
Yes.
for example, if you are in a
We do not
supermarket,
need to know that much.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes you think it's good, but it's only good for you, but not for them, the one that you are reading their mind.
Yes. And Mariam, if there is another raised hand. Thank you, Ali.
Most welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon and thank you.
Good
I think we as education it's good to know that the students, how they think and what they hold inside them, because it maybe short the distance between us and between them, especially when you can build a bridge between you and their feelings, and they trust you. Just you need a look to their faces and you can know everything about them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
We have
because
magical powers when we look at our
exactly,
students.
especially during the lesson. So you can know much more than you expect just when you make a connection between them, even if they are not tell you anything. So I think it's good for the students because it helps them to motivate and to relax, and you know what they need.
And to see that we do not have harmful intentions.
Exactly, but I think it's bad for us as a facilitator
I
because
totally
we are
agree.
overwhelmed.
I don't want to know what they're thinking all the time.
Exactly, because sometimes they what they feel is not maybe true, but they harm. So it takes from you more effort to correct what they feel or thoughts. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. I also have a question here in the Q&A section. What is the item 1 and what is the item 2? Item 1 is good, item 2 is bad. To put them on position based on our experience, put them where you think you would use it. If you think you will use it for good, put it on the good side. If you think you will use it for bad, put it somewhere below. Thank you. So this was our Mentimeter. I will pause the share for the Mentimeter right now and go back to our presentation in a few seconds. Okay, no share. Good. I would like you to have a quick overview about the service learning, what it represents. And as I mentioned, this is most of what is not cited from books is my studies, what I have done during my research. David Kolb in 1984, that's the year I have been born in, I was born in. Learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. Now, David Kolb developed the model of experiential learning cycle in 1984. And when I discovered this, I said, wow, this man created something in the year that I was born, and only now I'm discovering this, and I was questioning myself, why did I never see this? He was only mentioned in the university classes, but never explored deeply. Kolb says that learning implies the acquisition of a number of abstract concepts that later on can be used in a wider range of situations in everyday life. But to get there, you as an individual need some valuable and authentic learning experiences. Now, from thinking about this, go to Maria Montessori and see the Montessori model of education, where students are allowed to move freely within the classroom, to ask questions, to explore, to choose what they want to learn and what they want to study, because experience is the base of learning. Children need real, authentic, and non-simulated experiences. It's not the same when you make your pancakes or you bake at home with your mother, or if you try to bake at school, where you do not have the comfort of your own space. Now, service learning projects, I will name them SLPs, they offer the ideal frame to bind the formal with the informal. I think this is where I started to click. I love informal education. I love education and informal education put into formal classrooms. You break down patterns. Children do not need to sit in their desks every day, all day, all through the class. They are allowed to move. They are allowed to ask questions. Sorry, they are allowed to put their desks in different positions so they can learn better, see better, access better the information. These projects blend learning with playing and practicing and applying everything that you learn. When I have to acknowledge and confess that being a teacher, I have to stick to my curriculum. I am bound by the ministry to respect my curriculum. So service learning project lessons in English classes, in my English classes, do not happen every day, every single lesson, because I need to teach them the curriculum. But every end of chapter has something that is larger or a smaller service learning project. For example, last week in the the seventh grade, with the seventh grade, we finished the chapter about how life is today and how life used to be in the olden ages, in the Middle Ages, all through the 14th to the 19th century. We explored that alongside in English classes with the modal verbs like should, shouldn't, etc. for grammar, and all sorts of vocabulary exercises. And at the end, they had to do a research. And I told them, this will be your evaluation of this chapter. You will not have a test. I will evaluate you through your research. You go home, do your research about a topic that interests you, about how life used to be in the Middle Ages, or maybe how life used to be in the 18th century, or how life used to be before, let's say, the First World War, the beginning of the 19th century, or how life is today. Or if you want, you can compare the two, how life was then and how is life now. And children have done their projects and have been very serious about it because they've seen that their life isn't as bad as they think it is. We have researched together that life in the old days was a little bit different than it is today. And I asked them to think about the water that they have at home, the access to food that they have, to clean water to drink, the fact that they have heated houses. In Romania right now, winter is coming, so everybody uses some kind of method to heat the houses. Think about the fact that you have a bed where to sleep in, because the first lesson in the English class in this chapter was about how people used to live in Great Britain in the 16th century, in the same room, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 people, along with their animals. And they were shocked. But teacher, how? How did they live with their cow and with their dog? Well, they didn't have heat. They didn't think about the minimal thing that those people in the 16th century did not have heat in their houses. They had heat as long as a fire was burning. And that changed their perspective. They never thought about that up till that moment. Although they study this in history, maybe they study it in social sciences, because they do cover these subjects. But I saw them being very interested in researching and coming up maybe with a short essay or maybe with a poster. They search for images online to see how life was in the old days and how life is now. They came with all sorts of ideas, and that's why I say they do not need a simulation. Let them do on their own. And I think that the impact was greater because they had to do it on their own. They had to experience all this themselves. Now, service learning projects represent an educational approach that facilitate the students' learning by involving them in finding solutions in their community. They are guided by an adult facilitator. In service learning projects, we have them in Romania in the form of clubs. We have after-school clubs where the children that join meet every week for about an hour or a half after school. I repeat, after the school classes. And there, through my guidance and my colleagues, because I'm not alone, I have a colleague, my history, geography, and science teacher, social studies teacher, sorry. And we as teachers are there, the facilitators for the club. The students then, through games, through stories, because this is what we start with, games and stories. And every game and every story ends with reflection, which is guided by us, obviously. We identify, after playing and after talking, we identify the needs of our community. and then debate on the solutions that we have. You will see later on that we have found problems in the community, and we have also found solutions, and we gathered around a common goal. And then we took action in the community. We did a common volunteering project or maybe a charity project. A year ago, before Christmas, we had a big charity event where we raised about $3,000 for another student that was facing health problems. Or maybe civic actions. We had civic actions, but then there are service learning actions. We take what we have in our curriculum and we take them outside of the school. We take them into the community. So volunteering with charity, with civic actions, and with service learning are not the same thing. Please try not to confuse them. I was as confused as you are, mainly as my previous speakers here have said. Project-based learning is one thing and service learning is another thing. You will see in a short while. The picture that you see here is taken a few weeks ago in a presentation that I was. Helping, fixing, and serving represent three different ways of seeing life. When you help, you see life as weak. When you fix, you see life as broken. But when you serve, you see life as whole. Fixing and helping may be the work of the ego, but when you do the service, you do the work of the soul. Maybe you can reflect on that and tell me later. I will leave you my email, and maybe you can tell me later what you think about this. What I love in service learning projects is that the students' voice is heard, that they have a voice. They have the courage to speak to authorities, local or national authorities, without the fear that they will be judged because they are just children. They can take key decisions in the projects. They define the need of the project. They choose the solution, and they use the resources that they have. They use everything they see around themselves. My task as a facilitator is to set and evaluate the learning objectives. I do not care about the service objectives. Yes, they are doing a service very well, very good, but I have to evaluate the learning objectives, which are defined in relation to the needs of the students, not of the community, and the action they take in the service project. So they have to do actions in the service project that define them as learners. The students regularly reflect on their learning progress. Every step of a service learning project that is completed with a reflection. And I have also prepared a reflection chart I often use in my classes and in my projects also. But also they have their learning progress and the community impact. They have to think about the two things that they have done. What have I learned up till now? And what is the community impact that I'm having? Now, in this manner, the service learning contributes to empowering the young people to become agents of transformation. They are capable, productive, contributing, and essential in their community. And there are many research papers on community service learning, and this is cited from one of them. And there are three types of service learning project. There is direct service, indirect service, and advocacy. And I have a very funny story that I want to share with you. In the beginning, as I told you, 10 years ago, we started the service learning projects. And our first project, I have it here in the slides, was to transform. The children saw their need in the school. We did not have a gym within our school. So the students decided that they should talk to I'm looking for the pictures from this project, and I will come back to the presentation. The children saw that during winter, they cannot do PE lessons outside because it's cold, or inside their own classrooms because they can get hurt. And they decided, we started from this. So this was our first project. We had an abandoned classroom that was not used for anything. And the administration and the local community, the mayor, wanted to demolish that part of building. But then the students came and they said, please help us. Please help us transform this space into our gym class, or maybe a space where we can do all sorts of activities, not only physical education. So this was our first project. And we later on discovered that this was an advocacy project because our students advocated so that decision was taken in the city council. We had a decision that was written, voted into the city council, which changed their lives. So this is an advocacy project. We never thought that we would get this far. We never thought the children, we as teachers and as facilitators, never thought that the students would have this courage to fight for their desire to have a normal PE classroom. And this is what the PE classroom looked like 8 months later, after everything was done. So it was an indirect service and an advocacy project. I'm sorry, Firas, if I changed the slides
No, it's
a little
interesting.
bit.
Go ahead.
I saw that it fitted best here as an example of what a direct service, indirect service, and advocacy could mean.
It's interesting.
Yes,
And we learn much from these photos and project-based learning.
that's why I was using. I don't know why my presentation stopped, but I will start it again. Sorry.
Yeah, you can stop and start again.
No, it stopped by itself.
It's fine.
Yes. So we were here. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay, good. Oh, and it's starting from the beginning.
No, it's fine. Scroll down. It's okay.
Now, the principles, going back to service learning, there are some principles that you have to follow because project-based learning is different, service learning is different. I was also taking a look in the chat box, and there was an idea here that these projects could be used at the beginning of the lesson. Yes, they can. And if you use it at the beginning of a chapter, or I don't know, it's called the flipped classroom method, meaning that you do not tell the students anything, you just put them to work. It is another method of learning within the classrooms, and in universities it is very commonly used. The flipped classroom, the teacher gives instructions and the student works, and from their work they start building their lessons from the work of the students, no matter if they did it right or wrong. That's very important to make your students feel safe, even if they make mistakes. What's really nice in service learning is that mistakes do not happen. They're just experiences from which you learn and grow. So you have as a principle structured community engagement that addresses a real community need. So you start from the need that the community has, not necessarily the student. That's indirect service, because if only the students have a need and all the community do not take advantage or beneficiate from that service, then it's an indirect service. But a direct service is where all the community has something to win from that service. You can integrate with academic learning through the course content. We had another project before the pandemic, which was stopped because and continued after 3 years with the help of our mayor. We wanted to have a local museum. I teach in a village which has about 5,000 inhabitants, 5,000 people. Not very big, but we do have 3 schools there. One primary school with kindergarten, and another school with secondary students, and another one. There are in total 5 villages in the commune. and another one with high school, secondary school, and primary and kindergarten and everything. So we're very diverse, very open to everyone and anyone. People from our community work a lot in foreign countries like Belgium, England, France, Spain, all over Europe. So we must adapt to the specific that we have in our community. And that's why I saw that service learning serves us through its principles. So we gathered that. We thought that a museum for our community would be very interesting. And when we presented this idea, when the club presented this idea to the mayor, he said, "Wow, you read my mind. I've been thinking about having a museum for about 2 weeks, but I never had the courage to say anything to anybody." And that was the point when everything changed in this project, because it no longer belonged to us, this project. It now belongs to the city hall, but it's okay, it's fine, because they could do much more than we could have done. We have there our contribution also. So students and the community are the benefits of ideas, of projects, of anything that can serve them. Preparation and ongoing support are all involved. If we support the city hall and the city hall supports us, we support the community and the community supports us, all these elements create an educational experience that make young people become civic responsible citizens, and their academic understanding automatically becomes deeper, and they have a real world participation. In the project that I shared with you before, where the PE classroom was transformed, they had their contribution there, and I will show you in a few moments. Now you have here what service learning means and the definition of service learning. I have given it to you a few moments earlier. They are all intertwined: academic study with civic engagement, with practical experience, with internship. In high school, we have students that participate in internship programs. For example, last year I accompanied a student of mine in India in an internship program for 1 week on leadership. Then there is also student and community service, volunteering, civic education. Everything is intertwined. This is another representation of called circle, experiential learning circle. What is service learning? It is a pedagogy, in my opinion. It is a type of learning and is different from a traditional classroom teaching, because it deals with how students take their learning into community and how the community and they benefit to the society at large. They do not learn hard knowledge or hard skills, but they learn some skills that are beneficial for them all their life. This is one of our best awarded projects, Safe Bike Parking. And we will later on have an exercise that I want you to do together with me. And there I have put in the Padlet the links for this project, the YouTube links. We have 2 YouTube links. This project was awarded by the government of Romania. And later on, a year later, the same project was awarded by the Ministry of Family and Young People, also from Romania. And it became a finalist in service learning projects in Europe. It was not an easy project because we started during the pandemic, and I was surprised to see the students that they would not give up. They didn't want to give up. Service learning offers concrete experience. You go from the concrete experience to have an observation. Then you have to put the concepts all together so that you can go out in the community and experiment. Also, this is another way to see Kolb's cycle of experiential learning. What students benefit from these projects? From a cognitive point of view, in my field, in English classes, their vocabulary is very much enhanced. They develop critical thinking and they know how to plan. They learn how to plan. From a language point of view, they become fluent, more fluent in oral speech. They write for real people. They no longer write for imaginary people, because most of the times language teachers put the students to work and they tell them, okay, let's imagine you are going to a birthday party and now you will do a birthday card for your friend. Yes, Lulu.
Excuse me, Miss Christina. I
Yes.
want right now you're talking about the language.
Yes, I'm talking about my English classes, what happens in the service learning projects, what happens in my classes, what benefits the students.
I was just curious. It sounds absolutely fascinating. But I was wondering, when the students go out to do this service learning projects, are they practicing the language that they are learning, which is second language or foreign language from the English from an English classroom? Or
Okay.
are they practicing their mother tongue because they're
Yes,
going out into
you
the
are
community?
very right. They, sorry for interrupting you. You are very right. They speak Romanian. They talk to the authorities and with the people that they meet. Obviously, they talk in Romanian, but
Of course.
but I encourage them to make Instagram and Facebook posts in English.
I
So they
see.
have to think in English.
I
That's it.
see. All right. I see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate
You're very welcome. Maram, please.
Yes, I'm also a language teacher and I teach Arabic for 11 years for middle and primary students. And just I want to add that we use language, even it's English or Arabic or any language, to motivate the critical thinking on the learners, especially when the school is bilingual system or school, to make the student self-directed learners and to give them the agency and to motivate their skills according to team work as a team, or to make the citation, etc., from the ATL skills. But the things that I want to add is related to the skills with the AI according to a project or learning. Sorry. I remember when I give a task as for Arabic for the learners to create a creative character related to the community or local character. And I ask them to use Magic School as an AI tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I put two tools on Magic School, ask them to ask questions, many questions to Magic School as the character they choose. After that, they have to make, for example, like first copy of paragraph and then back again the paragraph for the Magic School to correct. And then to take this paragraph using another tool on the AI to make it a video like the character who speak on themselves. Yeah. It was really nice and they learn a lot and they use language in very proper way.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Maram. I'm envious, I must confess. I would love to have a bilingual school, but we do not have that very much in Romania. Only in high school. In certain high schools, we have bilingual classes where they learn both in English and in Romanian. This does not happen very much, and I only have 2 classes of foreign language per week. So the students meet me only 2 times every week. So I have to compress everything into those 2 classes per week. But I have moved from my previous slides to this one. So you can see that the project with the museum started like this, with presentations in English. And these are handmade objects sewn by hand. And it's very popular. These signs that you have here in the first picture on the left, in your left, there are used in our traditional costumes. So this all is related to our ancestry. I always, you have here in the right, the last photo in the back, and sorry, in the lower part on the right, you have students in the 4th grade working on an English service learning evaluation form, because we also include the primary school students, but the 4th graders, which are bigger. They from the 5th grade in Romania, they enter the gymnasium, the secondary school. For me, it's very important because they use authentic language. I do not mind them using in my class their language because they're more comfortable with it. They know the words, but they have to search and they have to express themselves in English. And then with the service learning projects, I encourage them to make posters, to make Instagram, to make, I don't know, Facebook posts that we post them also on our Facebook school page, so that everybody can see that they are able to do this kind of work. So their emotional engagement is boosted, and the curriculum and the real life relevance are linked. There is no gap in why am I learning this? I do not get those questions any longer. Why am I learning this? I don't see the point of learning. Now I've put here a list of our projects. The first project with the PE lesson, the PE classroom, sorry, was in 2016-17. Every project lasts about a whole year because we only meet once a week. We do not want to steal from the kids program. And there is an entire process into getting a school service learning project developed and finalized. Ecology for All, an ecology project in 2017 and 18. Then the local cultural heritage. This was linked to the museum. It finished in 2021 by the City Hall, as I told you, the City Council. Safe bike parking was our most viewed and most, I don't know, applause project nationally and internationally. And we continued this project. We continued this project with cycling routes within our village. We created cycling routes along which the city hall came and installed little wooden benches so that people who travel along those cycling routes can stop and take a break and sit on a bench and admire the nature all around them. And then with also the help of our city hall, we found resting and relaxation places in our village. And this finalized in 2024, in the summer of 2024. The city hall came to our approach not our students' approach. The students came with the idea of having an outdoor cinema. And that outdoor cinema is very close to the local museum. And they can have a picnic also. They have wooden benches. And then we went on into another project, #green. This project implied all the previous 3 projects, from the safe bike parking to the cycling routes to the resting and relaxation places, into protecting and promoting a green environment, a safe environment for everybody, clean from all the pollution or anything. So I presented you before what we started from. The children came up with the idea. They spoke to the local authorities, and they had their classroom transformed into this safe space. And I told you before that the children had their own contribution here. Maram, just a second, please. Okay. The contribution is that all that what you see here in color are their little hands. They painted their hands and they put their hands there in color, the blue, the red, and the yellow, because our flag is blue, yellow, and red. And the paintings on the wall are done by another student, a former student of ours. And this is our logo, Club Impact #1. The name came from the students. They handmade the logo. I just transformed the logo from the handmade one to a computer-made one. Yes, Maram.
Yes, thank you. I just am wondering if do you think that you can connect this project with the SDGs in your country? If your answer is yes, what do you think, which goal we can connect?
SDG.
SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes, we follow the sustainability development. That's why we have a sustainable connection through the project. We follow all the principle of sustainable development, and we use that. We have the European Council to direct us for the sustainability part, and the safe bike parking project followed entirely. That's why it was so greatly viewed, that project, because it followed entirely the sustainability development directions from the European Council and Committee. These are some pictures from our project, the #Green project that we finalized now in 2025. And this was a direct service because we also went into the community. We did some cleaning. The students had to do some research, and they gathered money and they bought themselves, because we did not have in the school those recycling bins for different wastes. We do have in each classroom, but we did not have them outside in their site. We have them in a separate part of the schoolyard, and it's not accessible to them. And they wanted to have their own bins for paper, for plastic, and for glass, so that they can recycle with their own hands.
Actually, Dr. Christina, yani we are enjoying really. It's very interesting the way you are showing us your experiences, the strategies that you've been suggesting. Very interesting. We need to see more and more, but do you think the time
Yes,
is
we
good?
can compress because time is not our friend
Just we
most
need
times.
to finish in 5 minutes, so we have another 5 minutes to close, please.
Yes. And regarding sustainability, Maram, here is your answer. We do have the Durable Development Agenda 2030 in our mind.
Thank you so much. It's really a great job. Chapeau. Thank you.
Thank you. We never stopped with the project of promoting cultural heritage. And in February 2025, we reached India with a student of mine. This is me, and this is my student here in the last picture. This is my student, and we were elected to go to India, and she could follow an internship program of 1 week on developing leadership skills. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud that she won a full scholarship. We both won a full scholarship, me and I, because I applied as a teacher, she applied as a student. And we did not have to pay anything, which is very rewarding. So we never stopped, and I do not intend to stop. I do have Miro or a Padlet link. I have both of them, how to sketch a service learning. But as Gras told me, and you can see time is flying, I
Yeah,
will leave
unfortunately,
everything in the chat box.
Christina,
I will
unfortunately.
leave the documents and the links in the chat box so people can download them and access them after that. Now, maybe take 1 minute to reflect and maybe write down your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think a service learning could do for you? Do you think it can reach the service and the learning? And maybe if it can work in your context. And we will be glad if you can leave some.
If you like to leave any question, any reflection in the chat box, if you like to see anything, to comment, you can raise your hand and we'll let you know. Do this, please. Any participation, any comment, any question? It seems everything is clear and you did a great job, Christina, really.
Thank
And
you.
yes. Thank you so much. No questions? So let me close. Let me thank you. It was very visual, informative presentation. We sensed your passion about your teaching. I'm sure you are a great teacher and your students are lucky. Thank you so much for joining this session. Thank you, great participants, for your participation, your comments, your inputs. Let me close saying that as we conclude this inspiring day at the Queen Rania Teacher Academy for 2025, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to all participants for your active engagement and insightful contributions. We hope this experience has enriched your perspective and equipped you with ideas and tools to foster values-based education in your school and communities. Actually, you will receive your certificates of attendance via email soon, and we kindly encourage you to complete the feedback survey to help us enhance our future events. Thank you all for being part of this forum. We look forward to welcoming you again at upcoming QRT events. Thank you so much.
Thank you also. I have put in the chat box some materials. Maybe, Firas, it will be helpful if I can put also the presentation or only the materials.
If you like, you can put.
Okay.
Yes.
I will
It's
make
up
it
to you.
available. I do not keep
Yeah,
anything
it's
to
up to you. Yes.
myself.
Thank you. It's up to you. Yes. Because I guess one of the participants asked for the power. They find it useful. So it will be good.
Yes, I can see in the chat box, people are trying to find them. Scroll up in the chat box.
So you
You
upload.
have to go up through the messages and see them because people were writing as I was putting the materials in the chat box.
Perfect. So please, ladies and gentlemen, scroll up and you'll find all the resources that Christina thankfully put and left. Thank you, Christina. It was a great experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.